week 5, Monday, April 20th. This is the information about the 10 frames that is part of your homework for the day. And all week you will be doing 10 frame information. So we want to start by saying again, this is what a 10 frame looks like. You could go outside and make it with chalk. You could, I've seen people do it with tape. If you have carpet down, people have put 10 frames on the carpet. So, and if you don't want to just use this, there's lots of other things you could use. You could go outside and use sticks. I'm looking out in my backyard. We have gobs of sticks out there, or we can make a 10 frame out of sticks to use. So this is what a 10 frame looks like. So we want to talk to you a little bit about what a 10 frame is, because your kids will be using them a lot in kindergarten. So it's super important to introduce them now and, get started using that word 10 frame. And why is it a 10 frame? Because it has how many spots?
10.
No, you're right, it has 10. If your kid is a higher level kid and they can do 20, you make 2 10 frames. So you would put one here and you would put one underneath it with a spot between the two of them so they know they're separate. So just so you know that. So we have all of our information in the wrong place, So this activity isn't just fun or just because, and 10 frames aren't just some wild idea to make you guys crazy. It's a great way for them to learn math. It provides a visual, it provides a concrete understanding of numbers, and it gives the child a chance to work with the numbers and not just memorizing them. Like if you put it in there, what number is this? What number is this? Like that's how I was taught numbers and math and things like that. Not my strongest subject because of that. So what we want you to know about 10 frames. What is a 10 frame, Miss O?
A 10 frame is a rectangle separated into 2 rows with 10 equal spaces. Hence the name 10 frame. 10 frames are awesome tools to help keep kids learn about number sense. And I mean, like, really learn about numbers. Not just the surface level of, I memorized how to count to 10 or I memorized how to count to 20, but actually really learn the meaning behind and knowing those numbers. And then 10 frames can change everything for your preschooler. So part of that is introducing the concept at an early age. That way later on they'll be, have success and not be like me and Miss Tressa where, we're not big math fans. So
the reason I teach preschool people.
So that way they aren't surprised when they get to kindergarten and the teacher says, all right, we're going to be doing some 10 frames today. And they're not lost. They're looking around like, oh my gosh, what is this? What are we doing? It helps them develop a deeper understanding of numbers, building that conceptual learning. And then they learn skills rapidly by recalling groups of objects like they do with pipes or pips on a dice. So, example, a song that they can memorize a whole song because
the ABCs doesn't continuous. Mean that they know their ABCs.
It's just a rhythm that they memorized, and it happens to have letters that goes with it. Versus if you say, I want you to say your ABCs, you will truly see the difference between saying and singing.
It's very true, and that's the reason why we don't sing the ABCs. We always say them in our classroom, but we're talking about numbers. So then we talk about the numbers. So you've done the 10 frame, and you have, let's say we use the number 7. Wow, I see you put out 7 pups. Is that more or less than 5? So what you can do here is I have my number 7 out. And then, like we said, we gave you mini erasers. You could use your stuffed animals. You could use markers. But the big thing is don't write on the 10 frame because you're going to use it over and over again. The kids will want us, once you make this into a game, they'll want to play it. So look, I have this. Miss O is going to make it much harder for her. She's only going to have an object. Or it might be easier for that kid who needs that extra help. So I'm going to put 7 down, but at the same time, I'm also making a what? Again, the cat. We're sorry about that.
Yeah.
We don't like our coworker at the moment. please write in comments to her.
Yeah, and the boss favors her, so he's not going to fire her. Sorry.
Yeah, no, not so much. So write comments in.
Yeah, please.
So anyway, back to 10 frames. Sweetness. And I lost my number 7 in all of this.
Oh.
So,
Oh,
but look, we have 4, 5, 6, 7. So this is supposed to be the number 7. Miss O's trying to get it. I also did something different. I also helped make a pattern, which the kids should be starting to do. So with this, you could say, wow, I see you put 7 stars down. Is that more or less than 5? You're right. It is more than 5.
But if they say no, a good thing to do is say, okay, well, let's count them together. And you could also put out or find the number 5, or maybe put out 5 objects. That way they can count each one. And then after they count, you can say, okay, did we have more here, or did we have more wherever else you count, for them to help them understand if 7 is more than 5, or vice versa.
Another way to do it is to make a number line. Have them write the number line. You write it, they write it, and then say, oh, look, here's the number 7. I asked if it was more, which would be on this side of 7, or less, which is on this side of 7. Mm-hmm. You like my squiggly line? And then I always circle the 5, and so they can see, oh, and if they still don't understand, you have them count and say, oh, look, you say 5, 6, then 7. So 5 comes first. So it is less. It is not more. And then the other thing you could say when doing this is, how many squares are open? And they'd have to figure it out. 1, 2, 3. So if you had a number line like this, you could easily have them find it and circle it. You also could use your deck of cards just like this, is another way to do it. Again, Miss O over here used her puzzle pieces with cubes to help. And how many did you have, Miss O?
1.
And so she has 1. So how many spaces do you have, Miss O?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
So something you could do with this for a higher level learner would be, okay, so you have 9 spaces, but there are 10 spaces, but you had 9 empty.
9.
So you take 1 away. So 10 minus 1 is 9. Or you could do it the opposite way. You could go 10 minus 9 is how many? 1. And I'm doing it backwards because you count like this now. So you see how the learning is happening. You see where they might be struggling with their numbers. This is a no flashcard. You don't have to drill it and kill it. And we recommend it you do like 5 times and call it quits.
Yeah, if you do it anymore, their attention span is gone. They're no longer interested. So anything you're wanting them to absorb, they've already decided mentally, I don't want to do this, I'm done with it, and they're not going to absorb what you need them to, and it could conflict with what they did absorb from just a little bit of time.
The minute you see them getting frustrated,
let's take a break. Let's come back tomorrow.
Let's come back tomorrow.
Exactly.
Because we will be doing 10 frames on Tuesday also, because we have, again, this. It's a worksheet, but instead of doing this worksheet and never having it again, use this or go outside and make one on the sidewalk. I mean, that is a great way to do it.
Or if you want to use your sheet, remember we provided you with 2
sheet protectors.
Sheet protectors. Use that using the dry erase marker that we gave you guys. You could use permanent marker. You could wipe it off with some alcohol or draw on it with the permanent marker again, and
Windex, it'll come right back off. Another thing you could do for those higher level kids is you put 2 numbers out, and okay, 4 plus 6, and like cards are good because then they see how many they have to put down in the 10 frame, and they can figure out how many it will make. So then they would put the erasers or their animals, whatever you used, where you could use the 4 plus 6 equals how many? 10. It's an easy way to start the beginning process of addition. You also could do the same thing with subtraction. Now, subtraction is a lot harder. It's a very hard concept. It's very abstract. Addition's a little bit easier, but we're going to preview that with, if we don't have our numbers down, there is no way to do addition or subtraction. It's just not possible. And you will want to pull your hair out or you'll turn gray. And we don't want that, because we love you all and we want to make this as easy and simple for you as possible. So that is some information about 10 frames. 10 frames are important to your child's math development. It will help them. There's another word in kindergarten called number bonds. And we will not be talking about those anytime soon. But this 10 frame will help them understand what a number bond is. So the more you work with 10 frames in math contexts will be better for your child. Addition, actually learning the numbers, putting the one-to-one correspondence. That's what this is, one-to-one correspondence. You could have them do patterns. My kids love to do patterns. So it's just some things. Use your stuffed animals. Use the things you have in your house. We did give you erasers. We gave you 20 erasers, everybody. Use those. We tried to make it 2 different erasers so you could continue to make patterns.
If you have some goldfish, because then you could be like, hey,
if we
eat one, how many do we have left?
Oh, look at that, subtraction. Easy way to do subtraction. So that is some information about 10 frames. If you have more questions, please reach out to us. We know it's it's a new concept to you guys.
Put it in the Facebook group. There may be another household that has figured out a way to maybe help, and they could post it on there and say, hey, we did it this way. Maybe you could try it that way. That's part of the reason why we created the Facebook group.
We want you guys to
be able to share
your
give each other ideas, to be able to help if you are struggling with numbers, letters, colors, anything.
So we hope you learned a little bit about 10 frames, and don't forget, this is just another way for them to learn numbers and really understand to the best of their ability what those numbers are, without just flipping flashcards or deck of cards in their face, because that is not the best way to learn, and nobody likes to do that, and it's no fun. Kids want to have fun when they're learning. They don't want to do anything else. That's the reason why we play in our classrooms, for fun. Like, they would consider this playing.
Yes.
They would never know it was learning.
Mm-hmm.
So, make it fun. Make it, don't get stressed out about it. Just make it fun. And if they can't do it, do lower numbers. If you're not sure where your child was because you didn't have your parent-teacher conference with us, please text us. We have all their information. We can tell you exactly what numbers they need to work on, so we can help you with that. So again, hope you guys have a great day. Bye.